Hello and welcome to the introduction and instructions for Module 3 for ED 5840. We'll go ahead and get started. I will share my screen. And I'm in Module 2, and now click here to go to Module 3. And Module 3, the suggested time to complete will be during Independence Day for the July holiday. The photo I took this about 10 years ago, the Idaho State Capitol on Independence Day, looking up toward the ceiling, the American flag, and looking up toward the ceiling at the Idaho State Capitol here in Boise. So the activities, and you're watching it now, the Module 3 Introduction and Instructions. Then read Chapter 8, which is Hypothesis Testing, Significance, Effect Size, Estimations, and Power. Chapter 9, which is Testing Means. And this will be the first of the 3 different types of t-test. And this is the one sample t-test with confidence intervals. Chapter 10 is 2 independent sample t-tests with confidence intervals. And then the final one, Chapter 11, testing means the related samples t-test with confidence levels. And they're also provided the supplemental PowerPoints. Chapter 8. Chapter 9. Chapter 11. And finally, Chapter 12. And I've also provided recordings, YouTube videos of the content topics. I've got 2 here on hypothesis testing. First one is an introduction. Then the second one goes through, null and alternate hypothesis. And this is the statistical hypothesis testing for significance, which t-tests are used for. Then a video on power and effect size. And we go into the one sample t-test. And for each of the tests, I've also added how to use SPSS to run the test. Then independent samples t-test. And again, using SPSS. I recorded a video a couple years ago on running 2 independent samples t-test. Then there is one on constructing confidence intervals for independent samples t-test. Then the next is the related samples t-test, and also related samples t-test using SPSS. So the thing to remember with the different t-tests, the one sample t-test, you've got a group and you've got a sample out of the population, and you compare the mean of that sample to the population's mean. And usually that's a hypothetical population mean. Then the 2 independent samples t-test is you're comparing the means of 2 groups, say male and females, say someone, a group of patients who took a medication compared to a group that took the placebo. So you're comparing 2 groups. And then the last one is the related samples. And this is typically where you'd give a post-test, gather data prior to something, an activity, a lesson, a professional development activity, and then you would come along and do a post-test, pre-test and a post-test. So Then post your Module 3 reflection. And there are questions to consider as you read here, as you post your reflection. And the suggested completion date for this module is July 5th. Let's go back to the home page and take a peek. Let's see here, get back to the home page. Take a look at assignments. And by the time we get to the end of the third module, the beginning of the course introduction should have been posted. The identification of your research interest, and that was due after the first week. Then the IRB CITI web-based training, the certificate needed in order to get IRB approval for a research study, and that was due here at the end of the second week. And then here at the end of this third module, the quantitative research article summary is due. Looking forward, the quantitative research assignment, will be due at the conclusion of Module 4. And that concludes the introduction and instructions for Module 3. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to let me know. Take care. Bye.